Let's be honest, at some point we've all taken a magnifying glass outside and tried to set something on fire. Tried, because this tiny thing is pathetic. If we actually want to have some fun, we are going to need something much bigger. So I built this. Alright, but are you going to tell me what this is? In a minute! You know, as far as I enjoyed burning things with the sun, one thing that always bothered me was that I had to keep my hands steady by crouching on the ground like some kind of fucking Neanderthal so that I could make a piece of paper smoke. One thing happens after another, and 10 years later I realized that I'm making things spontaneously combust with a massive 300mm Fresnel lens I just bought from eBay. I 3D printed a stand for it, and that was version 1. But we don't talk about version 1. This abomination was more unstable than Will Smith's marriage, and it was pretty much useless because I still had to adjust its position manually every few minutes so that the lens would be directly facing the sun. I needed something advanced, something that could track the sun for me, a machine that could burn anything I ever wanted. I needed a solar death ray. If we want to follow the sun, we're going to need a device that can move in 2 axes. That is, rotate sideways and tilt up and down. Now I can't just buy a normal solar tracker, not because I cannot afford it, but because in my case I have to work in 3 dimensions, not just 2. Every lens has something called the focal length, which is a point where all the light that passes through the glass gets concentrated. If we want to get the most heat out of the lens, the object we're trying to roast needs to be right at this point. So not only do we need to track the sun's movement, but we also have to keep the lens exactly the focal length away from the object at all times. And the solution to all of this lies here. I don't even know how to describe it, but it should work. So now we just gotta build it. It was really quite easy. I just had to do some soldering, some electronics, some 3D design, and everything went just as I imagined. Wait, no, don't wake up! Oh, who could have guessed that difficult projects are going to be difficult? Nobody. Literally nobody. Or maybe just me. Nah. Anyway, so for some reason I thought it would be a great idea to start working on version 2 right after the summer ended. You know, the season with the most sunlight. Because this thing just doesn't work in bad weather at all. But worry not, I'll be done with this project in 2 weeks and have plenty of time to finish this. After opening my box of cheap Chinese electronics like some kid who got his Christmas present early, I needed to design a circuit board that would connect everything together. You know what that means? PCB way! Yes, they sent me these for free in exchange for a shoutout. What are they gonna do about it, huh? Break into my house? This is not even my house. No pot. What the fuck? What kind of comedic timing is this? In my town, there's this town that's been under construction for like 2 or 3 years and it's almost completely abandoned. Maybe people come here like once or twice a year. And you know, I expect nothing out of it because it's the holidays. And then randomly I see a car pull up right in front of me when I was filming and I start stressing like, how am I gonna explain this? But long story short, I explained I was filming and the owner was cool about it. But man, what the f... Then came soldering. Something about it is just so beautiful. Is it the poisonous gas that I breathe? The hot solder blob that occasionally lands on my hand? Perhaps the calmness.
First of all, you must know that the L is silent. Calm.
Calmness.
Calm.
Perhaps the calmness of it all. Maybe sometimes you even put the batteries in backward because you soldered the battery holder wrong. So you flip the contacts of the holder, but then you forget to check the markings and end up putting the batteries in backward once again. You might as well replace the burned modules if you're already going to be ordering again because you bought the wrong batteries. Now that we have the electronics working, it's about time we do something about the giant magnifying glass that the whole project revolves around. This is a photoresistor. It changes its resistance based on the amount of light it receives. Put 4 of them together and now you can track a light source. Put them between 2 solar panels and now your device not only tracks the sun, but also uses it to charge itself. With the frame done, we can test its power just in case we get zero sunlight by the time I finish this project. But what are the chances of that happening anyway? At first, I wanted to see what would happen to a solar panel under extreme heat. Yes, I know this recording looks like some kind of fucking found footage tape reel that got run over by an 18-wheeler on the highway, but it looks good to us. Damn! The burning sounds are satisfying too, but the audio isn't. I think it looks pretty sick, just like this calculator which I also burned. You have 3 more seconds to look at it before I cut to the next. Finally, a PlayStation 3 motherboard. Now don't worry, I didn't want to destroy working console for fun, so I carefully removed the processor to make sure that it wouldn't get damaged. By the way, besides a few explosions, this one was pretty boring. But enough of the fun, we have a lot of work to do. Measure, design, print, adjust, assemble, test. Keep doing all of that for the next few weeks. Just make sure you don't go crazy. 35-hour print failed horribly and is full of issues. How about you spend 4 days fixing it instead of just printing it again? Nothing fits because you left no tolerance on the 3D models. Who cares, just hammer it in. Oh, you don't have one? Well, what are your bones for if you're not even using them to their limit? But hey, at least you're making steady progress. A few more hours of wiring and programming and you'll be finally done. I don't know what to do anymore. I tried to test the motors whose job was to raise the lens, but a loose hex nut got stuck in the rack, which blocked the motors from moving, meaning they drew too much current, and moments later some magic smoke came out of the board. But Blytical, why don't you just replace the component, I hear you ask? I would do that, but I can't. I literally cannot access the board in any way unless I take everything apart, which I also cannot do because I literally glued and hammered the parts together. When I was designing the models for 3D printing, I focused so much on aesthetics that I completely forgot that I would need a way to remove the board if I had to, or that the PCB had buttons that I needed to access. If this shit caught on fire, I couldn't even turn it off, because the on-off switch is only reachable with a screwdriver and a lot of patience. I accepted my fate and kept moving forward since it was a feature that the machine could live without. But then I found out that the tracking system wasn't doing its job either. I hope the issue was with my code, but nothing I changed fixed the problem. If that previous incident also damaged the microcontroller, then I could do nothing to fix this project and all of the effort that I put into it would go to waste. I was really considering giving up at this point. But no, I didn't just spend hundreds of dollars and 3 months on a project I wasn't even going to finish. I had already taken the easy route and given up on my previous project, and I could not afford to disappoint myself and my viewers once again. I am going to finish this project and I don't care how long it takes. Days, weeks, months. So it took me 4 minutes. The issue was a loose wire connector I made myself. But hey, now we finally have a device that tracks the sun. Isn't that cool? This device is so cool and sick and awesome. Just a few more touches and now, after many months of hardship, we can finally take it outside to test it and... Wait, many months, huh? I thought it would be a great idea to start working on version 2 right after the summer ended. Yeah, little problem, it's December. Small hiccup, it's alright. It's alright. The sun won't come out, huh? The sun won't come out. Fine! I'll build my own sun. Let there be light. This is never going to work. and I never expected it to work. The real reason I built these lights was to record videos, not to replace the sun, because you cannot replace the sun. But without clear skies, this project is practically useless. Wow, wait a fucking minute, Blytical. How do you explain that in the intro when you show the finished product? You can clearly see that there is not a single cloud in the sky. Well, funny story. After 2 weeks of writing, I finished the video script by saying that I cannot test this device because the weather is getting worse and worse, and that it's alright because the journey matters more than the destination and all that bullshit. I wake up the next day, ready to record that part, and by some miracle, as if the planet felt bad for me. For the first time in weeks, the sky was so clear that I could even see Zeus's balls. But I wasn't expecting this. I only had a few more hours left before sunset, so I had to act fast. The death ray stopped tracking the sun for some reason, and even my pets tried to sabotage me, but I still managed to get some usable footage. Oh. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe or don't, I honestly don't really care. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want to see more content and behind the scenes. If you want the cat files or the PCB designs for some reason, DM me on Instagram and I send them over to you. I don't have anything else to say, so... What?